Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And today I'm going to do two meditations. I really enjoy reading the meditations on here and just kind of talking about like what I got out of it and things I've learned in my life and how to like apply these meditations to your life. I love these meditation books, and so for me to reread them on here and then kind of talk about them feels very much just like sitting down with a friend and talking about the meditations that we read for the day. And my friend Tanya and I actually, we read The Language of Letting Go often together, and then we'll kind of talk about it. And it's been a book that has like really changed our lives. This and Codependent No More are two books, both by Melody Beatty, that have really profoundly impacted me in my life. But I do want to kind of start mixing it up on here, and so I'm gonna, do some more story times on here and things that have really affected me in my life and things I've, learned a lot from. Some small, some large, but just different stories that I have in my life, because that was what I wanted to do when I started this channel initially. And I've kind of gotten into just doing a meditation on a daily basis. So I might combine like stories with meditations on a daily basis going forward. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But I want to kind of start charting out some stories that I want to tell and things that were pivotal to me in learning lessons in my life. I'm going to actually read two different meditations today. I'm going to read both from Melody Beatty. One from Journey to the Heart. It's a short meditation, but I think it's a good meditation to kind of keep us positive. And the second meditation is from The Language of Letting Go, and I think it's a really powerful lesson, so I want to talk about that. The first one is from January 17th today, and it's called Awaken to the World Around You. There is a universe outside your door, waiting to touch you, soothe you, heal you. There is an entire world out there waiting to help you open your heart and nurture your soul. The universe wants to teach you things, show you things, help you come more alive than you've ever been before. Open your eyes, open your senses, open your heart. Walk out your door, look around. You'll be shown. You'll be guided. Your heart will lead you to what you need. Listen, look, feel. You are connected to the universe. Let the universe bring you all the healing you need. Let the universe bring you alive. Awaken to the world around you, and you'll awaken to yourself. And I love this meditation because I think it's really important for us to remember on a daily basis, being able to use all of those senses that are given to us and, like dance and, eat great food and listen to good music if we can and all those things, and read great books and look at great art and, just all of the different things out there that we take for granted, I think, on a daily basis. And, just really, really enjoying the life that is given to us. And, I talked about this briefly yesterday on my video, but I had watched this interview with Oprah and RuPaul, and at the end of the interview, Oprah asked RuPaul, what do you think your purpose is here on Earth? And RuPaul responded by saying that he thought his, purpose was to enjoy life as much as he possibly could and to show that to other people that it could be, enjoyed as well. And I actually think that's a really good way to look at the world, that all of these things we take for granted, to really enjoy them to the fullest, to focus more on the positive than the negative, to focus more on laughter than, to really just take a bite out of what the world has to offer us. And the universe has so many things to offer us. And, even if you can't leave your town, your small town, your big town, wherever you're at, and travel all over the world. You can read books and be an armchair traveler, or listen to audiobooks, or, look at great pieces of art, or watch the History Channel, or, there's so many things out there. Just we could Google on the internet, anything that we want to find out about. And there are so many different ways to, travel this world that we don't really ever have to leave our own living room to do that and still find new things about the world that we wouldn't know. So I think it's about taking all those opportunities. Today, for my review channel, I went to this place up the street that a lot of people in my vlog have said, because I mentioned driving by there one day, and they said, you should go try that place. It's like we have it in our town and whatever. And I just kept on driving by, and then today I was like, I'm gonna go in there and actually try it. It's like trying new things, taking small risks on a daily basis. Several years ago, I made a list of like bucket list things that I wanted to do, in my life before I died, that I had never tried before. And at the top of the list, true story, was trying, because I had never had chocolate chip pancakes and blueberry pancakes. And so my friend Melissa, she took me to the original International House of Pancakes, and we tried 4 different kinds of pancakes. And it was really fun, and I got to kind of figure out some things I liked and some things I don't like. But at the same time, it was like, okay, those are things, I mean, they seem rather simple, but I had never tried them in my life before, so it was really fun. Okay, the next meditation that I'm going to read is from the Language of Letting Go, and it is from January 17th, Acting as If. And this is a really powerful recovery tool, but on top of that, I think it's a really powerful tool just to learn in our lives, and you don't have to be in recovery to practice this. I think in times of grief and in times of just struggle in our lives or going through, PP is now like running into the kitchen, you know, just difficult times in our life, I think this is a really powerful tool to use. Acting as if. The behavior we call acting as if can be a powerful recovery tool. Acting as if is a way to practice the positive. It's a positive form of pretending. It's a tool we use to get ourselves unstuck. It's a tool we make a conscious decision to use. Acting as if can be helpful when a feeling begins to control us. We make a conscious decision to act as if we feel fine and are going to be fine. When a problem plagues us, acting as if can help us get unstuck. We act as if the problem will be or already is solved, so we can go on with our life. Often, acting as if we are detached will set the stage for detachment to come in and take over. There are many areas where acting as if, combined with our other recovery principles, will set the stage for the reality we desire. We can act as if we love ourselves until we actually do begin to care for ourselves. We can act as if we have a right to say no until we believe we do. We don't pretend we have enough money to cover a check. We don't pretend an alcoholic is not drinking. We use acting as if as part of a recovery to set the stage for our new behaviors. We force ourselves through positive recovery behaviors, disregarding our doubts and fears, until our feelings have time to catch up with reality. Acting as if is a positive way to overcome fears, doubts, and low self-esteem. We do not have to lie. We do not have to be dishonest with ourselves. We open up to the positive possibilities of the future. Instead of limiting the future by today's feelings and circumstances, acting as if helps us get past shaky ground and into solid territory. God, show me the areas where acting as if could help set the stage for the reality I desire. Guide me as I use this powerful recovery tool to help create a better life and healthier relationships. And you know, like I think in early sobriety, one of the ways that we use acting as if is, you know, like acting as if we are this person in great recovery when we're not. We just put one foot in front of the other, take it one day at a time, keep it simple, and practice those recovery tools that are taught to us, you know, on a daily basis by going to meetings, reading our text, talking to our sponsor, things like that. But acting as if in life, too, is not lying. You know, it's about, I think, respecting our emotions and our feelings, but also realizing that feelings are not facts and that feelings will change over time. You know, I think, how I feel about something today, sitting right here, may change. And tomorrow I could go through something that makes me feel completely a different way about a situation. And I think that happens to us all the time, you know? Whether it's just, you know, some pop culture perspective or something about ourselves or something about a family member. I mean, it can change that quick, you know? And I think acting as if is being respectful to the positive change that might come in the future. And like, here's a good example of it. Positive affirmations are kind of acting as if. So, for example, I talk about this on a daily basis over here. You know that, like, I'll get up, you know, in the morning and I'll say, like, today is going to be a good day. Like, that's an acting as if, right? Like, I have no idea what the day has for me. I have no idea what the day holds, you know, as I go through it. But I'm acting as if this is going to be a great day, that I'm going to, you know, meet some new people possibly, make some new friends, have some new experiences today that is going to be a really powerful day, a really happy day. And I think that, like, acting as if, you know, and it's like, we act as if the day ahead is going to be great. Because if we act as if the day is going to be horrible, that's our perspective in going through everything. Instead of going through the world, going through our days with a positive outlook, if we're going through it with a negative outlook, the chances are more negative things are going to happen, you know? I talked about the whole, like, there's been a lot of studies done on people that go into tests, and they tell themselves that they're going to fail the test. Well, they, by and large, do worse on the test than people that go in and they tell themselves they're going to do really, really well, even if they have studied the same amount of time on tests. And a lot of it is just training our minds to think positively. It's hard for us to do sometimes, you know, especially when we really struggle with low self-esteem, when we think, you know, I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, you know, I don't deserve good things to happen to me. And that's where we have to start acting as if and telling ourselves those things, because the reality is we do deserve good things. We do deserve to have a good life. That's not a lie. That's a truth, you know, it's a truism. And so when we start telling ourselves those things and we start acting as if we deserve good things to happen to us, we are changing our perspective of how we look at the world. And when we change our perspective of how we look at the world, we can never look at it like this, the same as we did in the past. In the movie Dead Poets Society, there's a great scene when Robin Williams, the teacher, he has all, it's at the beginning of the movie, he has all of the students get on top of the desk at the beginning of, like at the end of class, and they stand on the class and they're supposed to look at the classroom in a different way. And it's really a paradigm shift is what it is. It's a perspective change of looking at the classroom standing up on top of this desk. You'll never see it that way again. You're looking at the classroom in a completely different way than you've ever seen it before. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but it's like, you know, this is such a corny example, but I'm going to use it. Years ago, like, God, it was like when the Hilton sisters first got really, really famous. I remember, like, I read some article, and they were, like, in the United States, like, ranked wealth-wise. I don't know why I was reading this article, I don't know, but, like, wealth-wise, they were ranked something like, it wasn't like, you know, you would think they would be, like, in the top 100 or something. It wasn't like that at all. Like, they were ranked really, really low, like the Hilton family. And, I mean, high for wealth, but, like, you know, I mean, but what it did for me was it put it in perspective that, like, I'm never going to be on that level. Unless I won, like, the lottery for, like, $1 billion. Like, I'm never going to be on that level, and they're still not at the top, right? And so it was so weird. It was kind of like in the second that I had read this article, I was just like, I think I was like sitting at like the hair salon or something, like waiting, and I just read this article, and it was like the richest families in the country or something like that. It was, I don't know, in Forbes or something. But like, it just completely changed my perspective, because I was like, when you bring it down like that, then you realize that money just really isn't that important. I mean, we need money to pay our bills. We need money to have stability in our lives and feed us. But other than that, to fight for that kind of like wealth is like, most of us are never going to see that, right? So let's just take that out of the equation and do the best that we can and enjoy the simpler things in life, because I think that's what's really, really important, you know? And I just remember that happening and like changing like my whole perspective about the world. You know, equally, when I was sitting in my mom's hospital room the day that she passed away, and, you know, like, I've said this on here before, when I walked into that room and when I left that night, my perspective had completely changed, you know? I walked into that room thinking, you know, this is a tragedy that I'm going through, and it was like, I couldn't, literally until the moment that my mother passed away, I could not explain to you what that feeling was like, and unless you've gone through losing a parent or somebody close to you, I don't think you can really explain that to somebody else. It's absolutely surreal, you know? That you really, especially somebody that like, I mean, they gave birth to you, they've been with you your entire life, and so you've never not known them to be in your life, and all of a sudden they're gone forever, and it really like, it makes you realize your own mortality, but at the same time, it makes you realize what is really, really important in life. And there is a lot of crap out there that we pay attention to that just does not matter. It just doesn't, you know? It is just this superficial crap that we pay attention to that doesn't matter. And, you know, it's not like every day, like, I don't do that. I mean, sometimes I do pay attention to that stuff, and we all do, and I think it's about, you know, being human and allowing ourselves to be human. But I remember sitting there that night, and I've said this, you know, tons in my videos, just like, you know, it was just me and her at the end, you know, and everybody else had left the room. And I remember looking there and thinking to myself, you know, like, and it was going to be the last moment that I was ever going to, like, be there with her, you know, and I remember thinking to myself, you know, we're born and we die, and what we put in the middle of it is ours, you know? It's like, do something with your life. Act as if you're doing something with your life, even if you're not. And, you know, I think that's really the important piece to that. And I remember when I was writing my book, you know, like, I really struggled with the idea of, like, being a writer. And I had a friend of mine who has been very successful writing, and he said to me, you need to start telling people that you're a writer. And I said, but I don't feel it in my heart. And he goes, well, you won't until you start saying it enough. And he was like, but you're a writer. That's what you do. You've written a book. You're writing a book. You know, you're a writer. And it's kind of that. You know, you start saying enough, and then you believe it yourself. Because I think most of us, we don't believe these things about ourselves, and these roles we apply to ourselves, and the things you want to believe. Figure out what you want to believe about yourself, you know? You're going to be okay. Like, that is something today I know to be true, but I had to tell myself that over and over and over again, you know? Peter, you're going to be okay. No matter what happens, no matter, you know, like, anything that happens in your life, like, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through it at some point. There's going to be lessons that are hard to learn, but you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. Things are going to be okay. And that is something that I had to kind of fake it until I make it. You know, that was something that I had to act as if on and tell myself, you know, you're going to be okay at the end of all this. And I know that to be true for myself, and I know that to be true for you. You're going to be okay. Whatever you're going through in your life right now, there will be a day that you look back on it and you think to yourself, I got through that. It didn't kill me. It wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to me, you know? And it didn't define me, and it doesn't define me today. And I think we have to remember that. And then if we can't get there, you know, it's like, so often in recovery, you know, like, I'm asked to do things, or other people are asked to do things that maybe we're not ready to do yet. Like, you know, making amends to somebody or something like that. And, you know, I remember, like, my mom and I had this conversation. Like, she did do this, but she really struggled with the idea of making amends to my father. And, you know, she would say to me later, she'd say, you know, what got me there wasn't just this immediate, like, okay, yes, I'll go do it. What it was that her sponsor had said to her, you know, can you pray for the willingness, or can you try for the willingness to go do that? Like, not pray to go do it, but pray for the willingness to get you there. Sometimes we need several steps to prepare us for the lesson. You know, sometimes the lesson, we're just not ready to receive it. Sometimes we need to be prepared for the lesson, acting as if, you know, trying to get the willingness inside of us, or the belief system that we're going to be okay, or that we can do something is enough, is an action that's hard enough for us to do. So if you're struggling right now, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. Whatever you're going through is not going to kill you. No breakup, nothing like that is going to kill you. You're going to be okay. You're learning some valuable lessons right now, and no matter how hard those lessons are, you will be just fine. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.